Hey, good morning, everyone. Buenos dias. Glad to be in this live with all of you. We're going to do this live in English and then be doing another one in Spanish. So I'm just going to do a quick intro in Spanish, but then don't worry, the rest of it will be in English. Buenos días. Vamos a hacer este live en inglés, pero al terminar vamos a empezar a hacer otro en español. Entonces, si quieren esperar a escucharlo en español, denme unos minutitos y ahorita volvemos para hablarlo todito en español. So we wanted to just kind of get together and talk a little bit about everything that happened yesterday. Yesterday was a big deal. Yesterday, Congress passed H.R. 6, known as the Dream and Promise Act. And so we just want to break down a little bit, what does that mean? Why are some people celebrating? Why are some people mad? What is the implication for this? Does this mean it's going to automatically give a path to citizenship to people? So we just kind of want to break down a little bit about what happened. So first and foremost, I just want to say, as an organizer, we know that these things only happen because people have been organizing. And so, really want to shout out to all of the folks who have been pushing and working their butts off to make this possible. We know that Congress wouldn't have done it on its own, and it only happened because people have been pushing and asking for a path to citizenship. We also know that the Dream and Promise Act is actually a step in the right direction of including more people, because usually a lot of people have only wanted to fight for a path to citizenship for folks that are dreamers, right? Folks that came to the country as young people. But Dream and Promise actually was because movements came together and folks that had TPS and were also under attack and tried to be deported under Trump came together to fight together to make sure that TPS was included in this. So I just want to recognize those points because, they've been, coming out of a lot of work, a lot of labor that people have been doing for a really long time. Now, you'll probably saw that a lot of groups were really celebrating this bill. And a lot of folks have asked us why Mijente decided to not endorse it. And I just want to be really honest and really frank about why that was and what happened with that. And the main reason is that H.R. 6 included a lot of criminal bars or exclusions of people because of their criminal record. And so we know that already immigration law has a lot of exclusions for people, so that if you have, for example, 3 misdemeanors or other types of charges, that they won't let you apply for different benefits. But H.R. 6 actually goes beyond that. And you know who did that? Democrats. It wasn't even the far right. It wasn't the Republicans. It was actually Democrats that came into this bill last minute and decided to add extra criminal bars to exclude more people. And for us as Mijente, that was just unacceptable. We really believe that, if we're going to be fighting for a path to citizenship, if we're going to be fighting for exclusion, we have to include everyone. And this type of rhetoric of saying that some people are worthy and some people are not worthy is just unacceptable, especially when it goes above and beyond what is already in the law, which we know is so harmful. So, today there's no way that people can pretend that we don't know how racist the criminal legal system is in the United States and in the world. We can't pretend that we don't know that policing affects Black and brown people more than other folks. And so given that there's so much racism, given that this is really double punishment for people, and that it was going to exclude so many folks, we decided to not endorse. Now, again, we understand that this is part of organizing. We understand that different people play different roles in movement. And so for us as Mijente, we're really sort of standing by and understanding that our fight is to continue to fight against criminalization, against policing in this way, and that we have to make sure that these types of bars are not accepted. And part of the reason that we're so concerned is that a lot of the language that Democrats are using to put into these bills is the same language that then the administration is using in its deportation practices. And so, we've talked about in other lives some of our concerns around ICE's new enforcement memo, right, that Secretary Mayorkas put out. It actually worsened what Biden had already put out when he did his executive order ordering a moratorium on deportations. And so once again, we're starting to see how they're trying to grow these categories use these terms like aggravated felony or use misdemeanors with sentences more than 30 days as a way of excusing both not allowing people to apply for DACA or not allowing people to apply for some of these bills, but also using it to justify deportation. And for those reasons, we decided to say that we're not going to stand with it. Now, in that process, we know that at the same time we have to continue to push, but we just want to make sure that people are being realistic about the path ahead. We've had a lot of people ask us, does this mean, that automatically people are going to get citizenship? There's still a lot of fighting to do. If this bill goes to the Senate and the Senate decides to take it up, there's going to be a need to have at least 10 Republicans sign on to it. And so this also just makes us need to be a little bit more vigilant about what's going to be happening, because imagine if these criminal bars are what the Democrats did, imagine what the Republicans are going to try to do in the Senate. And so we all have to be very watchful of, of course, being supportive of some people getting a path to citizenship, but not allowing it to come with trade-offs that are going to mean more criminalization and more immigration enforcement against other community members. So we have to be watchful, we have to understand what's coming, and we have to continue to push back against criminalizing rhetoric. It's been good that a lot of the folks that have been supportive of the bill have been pushing back on the bars. I think we want to continue to partner with people on that fight and continue to push forward together on that. But we want to make sure that people are sort of understanding the impacts that this can have. So with that, we also want to kind of make an invitation to people that we understand a lot is happening in the halls of Congress, a lot is happening in the Senate, but we can't forget that Biden actually also has a lot of power to be able to do much more to stop deportations. We just launched a campaign called Eyes on ICE that is really putting attention on the ways that immigration, whether it's CBP or ICE, has been harming our communities through detention, through deportations. This memo that Mayorkas put out for its enforcement priorities, he himself said that it's temporary, that in 90 days he's going to put out a permanent one. And so that tells us as organizers that this is our time to really be lifting up our voices, to be listening to those who have been directly impacted by these systems, to actually say enough is enough and we actually demand higher change, and we're not going to let this rhetoric around criminalization decide who's worthy and who's unworthy of protections in this country. So folks can see in the chat that there's going to be, there's a link so that you can see forums that are already coming up. Next week is going to be a packed week. We have amazing groups, local groups, for example, groups like Juntos in Philadelphia or OCAD in Chicago that are going to be putting on forums, or national organizations like Familia, who's going to be doing a forum on LGBTQ issues and trans detention. We have folks from DSA, immigration group, that's going to be putting on a forum. So we really want to have folks tune into those. And if you want to do your own forum, sign up. The link is there. You can sign up to do your own forum. And this is just going to be putting more pressure on the administration to say we're not going to accept criminalization narratives. We're not going to allow some people to be considered disposable. And we're not going to allow a system that's going to punish people not only once, but twice for mistakes that they may have made and for contact that they might have with a racist policing system. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please help share this out. And again, please help us sign the petition to get Mayorkas to come to these forums and to continue to push back until we end deportations and detention. Thank you.